If you are still kind of getting confused with your time, if it says compounded yearly, then n equals 1. If it says compounded monthly, then n equals 12. If it says compounded weekly, what's our number, guys? Weekly. What number is that? Good job. What's daily? All right, so let's make sure we know that. Semi-annually is twice. That, I think, comes up in the notes. What do you think quarterly? How many quarters in a dollar? Yes. So quarterly comes up often, and it's one students don't know that well. Quarterly is 4. Those are the most common ones. Sorry, let me turn this down. All right. Where are my Kenyan algebra people? Who had Kenyan ever? There is a button on the calculator that Kenyan likes that I don't usually use, and it is that fraction button, that A, B over C. So you can continue to use that till it doesn't work for you. But throughout this chapter and throughout our class, sometimes that button will throw off your answer as opposed to just hitting the dividing key. So if it starts to get too much, make the switch. All right. Notice this is our first exponent. You've done this formula in Algebra 1. I just don't know if you remember. So right here, you need to put a little exponent, that little caret. Make sure you put your exponent in parentheses, like what's shown here. You have to put that in parentheses if you want it to actually do any multiply. All right, we're ready. Write down the formula to at least till you get used to it. B equals P, parenthesis, 1 plus R over N. And then you're going to do the little exponent button, parentheses, NT. There's that. If you want, I showed you yesterday, one way to kind of organize your work is just kind of stop and write out all of the rates off to the side here, if that's helpful. It says 1 year for my time. And then we still need to figure out what this N is. So let's start at the beginning of my problem and let's read so that we make sure we see how to figure that out. Jeff deposits $2,300 at 3.13% interest, compounded weekly. That's the N. So the N is 52. Plug and chug. 2,300. 1 plus. I told you a lot of this chapter is can you type. So I'm going to write out what it is you need to type. I would recommend you writing it out too. And then the little exponent key. Now, the N and the T, it's 52 times 1. Don't we all know what 52 times 1 is? Okay, it's obviously 52. Sorry, that little thing is right there. So, do you need parentheses for this exact example? I would say no. Because if you just want to put into the 52nd power, that's fine. If you're asking the parentheses to do something, then you need to make sure you include them. So plug it in. Let's see what we get. Compare with a friend. Don't clear your screen when you're done. I get 2373.11. Let me write it out. 2373.11. If you need me to look at your screen to clear anything up, let me know right now. All right. B stands for the ending balance. So we're ending with that. How much interest must he have earned? Well, remember that what you start with, the principal, plus the interest, is what you end with. He ended with 2373.11. He started with 2300. So if you just kind of think through, I think it's logical to subtract. He must have earned $73.11 in interest. Because otherwise, where did that money come from? That's what happened. At that 3%, he earned an extra $73.
Yeah.
You guys tried the try. This is a super annoying number. I didn't type this question, so let's not type that. Let's just make it 19,000. Just make that a nice 19,000. So we have $19,000. We're compounding it daily, 4%, and our time is 3. So you guys try. Try A, try B.
Maybe 365, right?
Yep, it is. Now, think about what you end with and how you started with 19. So if you subtract those numbers, that's going to give you how much interest you earned. I would round to the nearest penny. Can I help anybody with their calculator? Okay. Let's check it. So I forgot to write the zeros. So it's 19,000, parentheses, all of that. When I'm done, my calculator tells me 21,422.30 when I round. So that is the answer to A. Do people not agree with me? I see confused faces.
I just did it wrong already.
Okay, but does anyone agree with me? Great. Okay, okay. All right. So that's what you get for the end. Considering you started with 19,000, this is your interest. If you want to show me your calculator and say, where did I go wrong? I am happy to help you. Because it is a one formula a day chapter. So today you have to master today's formula.
I just need more practice with it.
I know. So we're going to do that. All right, let's do it again. All right, example 2. Example 2, let's write down the formula. So now you know that maybe it's not as easy as you thought. B equals P 1 plus R over N to the NT. Maybe it's helpful if you Write that down. I meant to write a capital T. Maybe you want to write down the formula first, like we did yesterday. What are we putting in the bank? Our P is going to be 9,000. Our rate is 4.1%. So we're going to type in 0.041. It's compounded monthly. So you're looking for the word compound. How many months are there? 12. So the N is 12. And then the time is 1 month. How much interest will she earn at the end of 1 month? So remember from yesterday's lesson, 1 month is 1/12 because we have to put it in terms of years. So 1 month is 1/12 of a year. Let's plug all that in and see what happens. 9,000. Parenthesis 1 plus 0.041/12. My little exponent button. Parenthesis. The N we said was 12 and the time is 1/12. What happens if we multiply by 12 and then instantly divide by 12? Do we all know? Those 12s cancel. 12 divided by 12, those 12s just cancel right out. So then this would just be an exponent of 1. Taking something to the first power doesn't change anything. So it almost doesn't even have an exponent for this one. You don't even have to type any of this in. It's going to have no impact. It entirely cancels out. Is it wrong if you include it? Absolutely not. You're fine to include it. It will just end up canceling. All right. 9,000. Parentheses 1 plus 0.041/12. Enter. I get 90, 30, 75. So 90, 30, 75. Quietly, sometimes I say, hey guys, what is it? And right now I'm saying quietly, have I answered, think to yourself, say nothing. Have I answered the question, how much interest? All right, and the answer is no, I have not. This is the ending balance. The formula solves for the ending balance. This is the B. How much money did we put in the account? 9,000. So how much interest did we earn? We earned $30.75. You're going to have to read and see what the question is asking. Sometimes it'll be a really nice, obvious, laid out in parts, like this question. Notice here I was like, what's the ending balance? How much interest? So I'm trying to lead you through in little baby steps so that I could explain the concept. Once you're used to it, though, you need to read the question. Is the question asking me for the balance, or is it asking me for the interest, and then do what it says? Stop when you think you need to stop. All right, I think there's just one more. Same formula, nothing's changed. So again, needing more practice, here we go. There is a slight difference. This one says, how much more? We haven't really seen too many problems that says, how much more? If I have $20 and you each have $100, how much more do you guys have than me? 80. What'd you do? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? We subtracted. How much more automatically means subtract. If I'm saving for a pair of shoes that cost $200 and I've already saved 50, think in your head, how much more do you need? $150. That kind of math we tend to be really good at up here. It tends to make logical sense to us because we save, we compare, we do things like that for the things we want. Money is typically a motivator and it's important to us. When you see the words, how much more, you need to get two answers and subtract them. So you're going to do two problems in one. Bonus for you. And subtract the answers. So do two problems and subtract them. What are we going to do in this case? We have 5,000 for 10 years, compounded daily at 6%. So daily is 365 compared to 5,000, 10 years, same interest rate. This one is compounded semi-annually, which is 2. So if I were you, I would split my workspace. Here's my formula. You're going to put 5,000 in, parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 over n, 365. The time is 10 years, so 365 times 10 in parentheses. When I type this in, when I'm done, don't clear your screen. I get 91, 10, 14. $91, 10, 14. Be patient with me while I write out this side real quick. This one changes to semi-annual. Don't clear your calculator. Can you see, if you look up real quick, there's a point I'm trying to make here, even if you're ahead of me. So if you just look up real quick, what's the only thing, you don't have to answer out loud, what's the only thing that changed? These 365s changed to 2s. Literally everything else stayed the same. Now, you know you best, and you've been working with these calculators now for 4 semesters. So if it's easier for you to type this in from scratch, do it. But there is a way to just go back up into the formula and change the 365s to 2. And if you need a little hint on how to do that, I'll come show you. I'm betting most of you remember, because usually kids in my class are better on the calculator than I am. So when I switch it and hit enter again, I get 90, 30, 56. 90, 30, oops, 90, 30, 56. Subtract them. Get 2 answers and subtract. You're not done till you subtract them. How much more? $79.58. You have to do 2, it's not hard to do both problems. So there will be ones like this on your homework as well.